Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So the question was raised during the press con by this Princess Maui, but I did not see her name, a list of defense witnesses in the pretrial order. So will you be presenting her as your witness?
Your Honor, at this point, it will depend on what will be established by the prosecution. The defense reserve its right to call or not call any witness depending on the course of the trial.
Ayun na nga mga kababayan, first day ng week 2 sa impeachment trial nitong si Vice President Sara Duterte dyan sa Senado. Isang like at isang subscribe, masaya na ho tayo dyan at sa mga gusto sumali sa ating community, yung join button nandyan lang ho sa baba. Wala ho tayo maraming pag-uusapan dito sa video na to, re-recta na ho tayo kagad dyan sa impeachment trial nitong si VP Sara dyan sa Senado. Game.
We are ready, Your Honor.
Noted. Appearances for the counsel for the respondent.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Same appearance for the respondent accused.
Noted. Prosecution, call your next witness.
Your Honors, before we...
Senator Raffy Tulfo is seeking recognition. What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Raffy Tulfo?
Thank you, Presiding Judge Scudero. Short inquiry lang po for the defense, particularly kay Attorney Mark Vinluan. Attorney Vinluan. During the last hearing, when you delivered a manifestation in reply to the prosecution's statement regarding the fourth article of impeachment, you said, and I quote, "The truth of the matter is this: she and her family were threatened, and while her response was unconventional, it was justified. What triggered her response was a question about Operation Romanov, which is the plot to eliminate VP Sara and her family." End of quote. Now, Attorney Vinluan, this Operation Romanov that you mentioned, are you referring to the Operation Romanov mentioned by the blogger Princess Maui during the online press conference of VP Sara?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So the question was raised during the press con by this Princess Maui, but I did not see her name, a list of defense witnesses in the pretrial order. So will you be presenting her as your witness?
Your Honor, at this point, it will depend on what will be established by the prosecution. The defense reserve its right to call or not call any witness depending on the course of the trial.
Bida-bida kasi itong si Erwin Tulfo ay Raffy Tulfo. Isang puntos para sa sa defense. Magaling itong si Atty. Vinluan. Wala siya Atty. si Gino Basa, no, wala siya. Si Atty. Vinluan.
See, okay. So in other words, will you also be presenting any other witness to prove this threat or this Operation Romanov?
Yes, Your Honor, that will be part of our evidence in chief.
May this court know now kung sino-sino itong mga witnesses na inyo i-present?
Of course, Your Honor. We are not at liberty to disclose that at this time.
Isang puntos ulit para sa sa defense dahil aanga-anga itong si Raffy Tulfo. Ano yan? Tatanggalan mo na sa lawal yung yung defense? Pambihira naman.
And again, it will depend on the course of the trial.
Your Honor, Presiding Judge, the first time I've heard about this Romanov is during the Maisog Leaders Forum in Davao City. That was on January 28, 2024. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was mentioned by Mayor Baste Duterte. At that time, hindi ko alam anong ibig sabihin ng Romanov at sino mga ito. In fact, ginugil ko yan.
Yan.
Sino itong family Romanov? So napagalaman ko, apparently, they were the ruling family in Russia that was murdered by the Bolsheviks in the night of July 16, 1918. Malapit-lapit na sa anniversary, 108th anniversary. Kasi ang patay nga July 13. Anyway, may relasyon ba ito sa binanggit ni Baste sa sinabi ni Princess Maui at yung binanggit mo? Magkakarelasyon ba yung tatlo?
Your Honor, I have no personal knowledge of what Mayor Baste said.
Ito naman si Erwin Tulfo, yan ang sinasabi ko sa inyo. Yung mga senador na magko-convict kay VP Sara, ano na yan, kumbaga yung utak niya sarado na. Kung yung mga mismong senador ay sarado na ang utak na guilty si VP Sara dito sa impeachment na to, tayong mga ordinaryong Pilipino, hindi tayo pwedeng saraduhin na natin, ilak na natin yung utak natin na acquitted si VP Sara at magiging presidente siya. O acquit si VP Sara at magiging presidente siya sa 2028 presidential election. Yun ang problema. Ang sambayan ng Pilipino, gusto nila, yung kumbaga gigit na tayo kung ano ilatag nila, yun ang kakainin natin. Yun ang papaniwalaan natin. Pero yung mga senador na tatayong mga ways dito sa trial na to, guilty na si VP Sara sa kanila. Base sa base sa kanilang pagtatanong kung paano nila ilinalatag yung kanilang pagtatanong. Di ba? Kaya naman, kahit na anong ilatag nila dyan, tapos na ho mga kababayan. VP Sara, 2028, presidente ho siya.
So I cannot comment on that, Your Honor.
So hindi mo napanood yun? Hindi...
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And last question. What did you mean when you said that VP Sara's response was unconventional?
Your Honor, it was a description, Your Honor, of the statements that she made during that press conference.
Kaya, why do you consider, why is it unconventional?
Your Honor, the basic meaning of the word is, it will explain itself, Your Honor.
Okay, that's all, Presiding Judge. And,
Noted and entered into the records. Yes, what is the pleasure of the Honorable Defensor, one of the members of the panel of prosecutors? You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Your Honors. Your Honors, before we proceed with the examination of our second witness, Your Honors, the prosecution is in receipt of a letter dated July 10, 2026 from NBI Director Melvin A. Matibag requesting that his testimony be scheduled or calendared at the earliest setting, considering that the National Bureau of Investigation, Your Honors, has been invited by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in coordination with the Royal Thai Police for a regional summit on scam center compounds and transnational organized crime.
Isang puntos po pala doon para kay Atty. Vinluan. Isang puntos para kay Atty. Vinluan.
In that
Sa defense.
regard, Your Honor, the prosecution would like to request that the scheduled testimony of NBI Director Melvin Matibag be scheduled tomorrow after the testimony of our second witness, Attorney Jeremy A. Loto.
O, sino ngayon
After
ang...
the testimony of your
Sino magsasalta ngayon?
after the testimony of your second witness.
Yes,
So wala si Lotok. O, tapos bukas si Lotok, tapos si ano. Di ba si Atty. Zulaika ngayon?
Your Honors.
But the supposed witness scheduled for tomorrow is Attorney
Zulaika,
Zulaika Lopez per
paano ba
the
yan?
gentleman's manifestation in the last hearing.
That's correct, Your Honor. After we have dispensed with the testimony of NBI Director Matibag, we can proceed with the schedule of witnesses as provided in the list to the Senator judges last week, Your Honors.
To include Captain Bello, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
we can proceed with Attorney Lopez and Captain Bello as manifested last week, Your Honors.
What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Cayetano, Alan?
Mr. Presiding Officer, if no one objects, I will not object to having Director Matibag yesterday, but maybe as a caution to government officials, my good friend, Congressman Defensor, I read over the weekend that Director Matibag is writing because he is to be in a convention meeting the FBI next week. So actually, we're going to be here 30 weeks. We have put aside many important things. We have put aside many foreign trips, many local trips, whether it's to help dun sa tinamaan ng lindol sa Mindanao or tinatamaan ng baha ngayon, because we have to be here 2 o'clock until matapos tayo every Monday to Wednesday, then after the SONA every Tuesday to Wednesday. I find it in bad taste that a bureau head will dictate to us that he's not available next week. I was Secretary of Foreign Affairs. That's why you have undersecretaries. That's why you have deputy directors. So I mean, I admire the patience of the prosecution, no? But even the prosecution, they have a way of timing and laying down the witnesses. So I don't want later on to say na dapat natanong ko muna to sa witness, kaya lang si Director Matibag inuna dahil ganito, ganyan. No? So I'd like to put that on record and ask my colleagues if that's acceptable to us. I mean,
Peping Lacson,
yung
Peping Lacson, okay lang yan ba? Ano yung tropa niya si Matibag?
then well, at least those who are not in jail or the 21 of us are here. The whole government nakatutok. We put aside so many important things. And then one witness who is in the government, who is a bureau head, will tell us sorry, but because he has to be with the FBI, siya na yung mauna tomorrow. That might be a bad precedent, Mr. Presiding Officer.
May I be allowed to give a reply, Your
Gentleman,
Honor?
will please respond to the point of Senator Judge Alan Cayetano.
With due respect to the Honorable Senator Judge Alan Peter Cayetano, we will always respect the decision of the Honorable Court. However, we will only be advancing his testimony one day based on the subpoena that we have requested the Honorable Court. He is scheduled to testify until Wednesday, and that we will not disrupt the scheduled list of witnesses. We will simply advance it one day, Your Honor.
With due respect, Congressman Representative Defensor, I asked that question poignantly last week. If Matibag will be one of your witnesses for this week, and you said no. In fact, you corrected Attorney Ligutan when he mentioned Director Matibag as one of your witnesses, and instead gave me a list of Lotok, Zulaika Lopez, and Captain Bello. Matibag was not included. In fact, I don't think we issued a subpoena for Director Matibag for this week, given your manifestation after you took over, given that you have, as you said, control and supervision over the counsel for the prosecutors. So he's not in your list this week. He's not being advanced for a day, sir.
May I respond, Your Honor?
Please so.
Your Honor,
Please so,
that's
sir.
correct. I gave a list of witnesses scheduled for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. However, Your Honor, to add, I also added that since NBI Director Matibag has been requested for a subpoena to testify within the week, I also added in my statement that we will inform the Honorable Court which day we can present the Honorable Matibag, and I was expecting him to be presented on Wednesday after the testimony of Captain Belinda Bello, Your Honors.
I confirm that, but the situation is, given the one witness per day rule that we supposedly have under the rules of court, no subpoena has yet been issued to Director Matibag to appear this week. Can the clerk of court kindly confirm that for us on the record?
No subpoena has been issued for NBI Director Matibag.
May I respond, Your Honor?
Senator Judge Alan Cayetano is recognized.
Actually, my statement and my question to the court is not really addressed to the prosecution. You will have to do the best you can to represent, what you're fighting for. No? So I commend you for adjusting, but my recollection is, because I'm also waiting for his testimony, and my recollection last week he said that we will not see him this week. And I think 11 days, no? 11 days ang
That's correct, Your Honor.
sa article na to. So we're on day 4. So kung hindi siya pwedeng next week, that's day 7, 8, 9. Again, I don't want to dictate sa prosecution or ano, but to suddenly say na tomorrow na siya, when I'm preparing for our oral argument tomorrow and the other witnesses is a little bit, it's a small inconvenience for today. But I hope it doesn't become a rule, especially for a bureau head. I mean, if no one else objects, but if someone objects, I don't think it's really a good rule. You know, rules are important. I'll have to keep, you say technicalities. No, rules are important. So even yung notice, we agreed on, Presiding Officer, 3-day ba? 5-day notice.
5 days for witnesses not mentioned in the pretrial order.
And then 3 days kapag
3 days, given the fact that we will be announcing the witnesses for the following week on the last day.
yeah, anyway, I said my piece, but I hope we will not be able to move faster if we have to accommodate the witnesses, especially if they're in government.
May I add something, Your Honors,
Before the Honorable Defensor, Presiding Officer would like to hear from the counsel for the respondents. Attorney Vinluan, what say you?
Yes, Your Honor. We would have to oppose on the basis of the following. Number one, it will be in violation, Your Honor, of the impeachment court's directive that was given last week, insofar as the identities of the witnesses and as well as the order of the presentation. Number two, Your Honor, it will be, again, as mentioned by Senator Judge Cayetano, a violation of the 5-day notice rule. Since while he was subpoenaed the week before, Your Honor, we are learning that he will be presented this week, so the 5-day notice will not be observed. Number three, the prosecution cannot compel also the defense and this impeachment court to present witnesses according to their schedule, considering also that these witnesses have already been identified and determined. Of course, it will be a violation of the basic tenets of fair play, and to join again the manifestation of Senator Judge Cayetano, it will set a bad precedent insofar as surprise witnesses will be allowed at any point of the proceedings. Number five would be, it will also violate our right to cross-examine intelligently. We have done our best to prepare for their witnesses. However, these last-minute changes really affect the preparation involved, Your Honor.
Plus point para sa defense dahil itong mga taga-prosecution kung ano pinagagawa, di ba?
And insofar as laying down the case that we want to establish. And finally, if there are violations of these proceeding rights, there will be a violation of procedural due process, which of course can give way to another ground to further delay the proceedings. Moreover, Your Honor, if the prosecution would also allow, can we also get a copy, Your Honor, of that invitation and maybe inquire of the prosecution if the particular travel authority has already been made? Because, Your Honor, we received information as well that the FBI had already conducted a summit, a regional summit of some sort, but it was conducted in other words, last month, Your Honor, also in Bangkok, Thailand. So we would have to again manifest and we would have to study, Your Honor, the invitation and counter-check and do the proper verification as well. So that if it is indeed viable, then we would understand, Your Honor, why it has to be attended to by Director Matibag, Your Honor.
Plus point tayo para sa sa defense. Mahusay tong si Atty. Vinluan. Napalapakan natin. Mahusay
Senate
na
President
bata.
Gatchalian is recognized. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Siguro itong na-realize na nagmumukha siyang tanga dyan kaya kahit paano magsasalita na kayo. Tama yan! Walapakan niyo to siya sila.
Ako po yung statement ni Senator Judge Alan Cayetano dahil hindi lang naman po yung counsels ng prosecution at defense na naghahanda, pati mo mga senator judges naghahanda rin. At sa totoo lang ho, itong weekend, marami rin sa ating mga senator judges ay pinag-aaralan kung ano yung kanilang maitatanong sa mga testigong ihaharap po ngayong linggo. Marami po ay pinag-aaralan po yung mga ebidensyang in-upload na ho para po sa ating mga senator judges. At hindi ho to konting ebidensya, pinag-uusapan ho natin dito. Libo-libong mga papel at libo-libong mga ebidensya. Kaya kung bigla pong may isisingit na testigo, hindi ho rin makakahanda po yung ating mga senator judges sa kanilang pagtatanong at hindi rin ho nilang mababasa yung mga dokumento at ebidensya na nakakabit ho doon sa testigong iharap. Kaya napakahirap naman po na naghahanda ho tayo pero biglang may mga ganitong suppression na hindi ho natin paghahandaan at hindi naman ho yan magiging maayos at patas para po sa ating mga senator judges. Maraming salamat po.
For the record, Chair would like to confirm the statement of the Honorable Defensor. I will quote, Presiding Officer, quote, so Director Matibag is not yet going to be presented next week. Representative Defensor, not yet, Your Honor. We will manifest on Monday. If we can consider him for the Wednesday session, depending on how the trial goes and how long the testimonies will take for both parties. With the permission of Senator Judge Cayetano and the Senate President, may we defer our ruling on this matter and ask the counsel for the prosecution to submit to us the letter given to you by Director Matibag for us to be able to look at it, copy furnished, of course, the counsel for the respondent, so that we can adequately go over it and hopefully come up with a ruling before the day is over.
We submit,
Would
Your
that be
Honor.
possible?
We will submit the letter.
Thank you, Your Honor. So we shall do it that way. Kindly furnish a copy to the counsel for the respondents as well for their review.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Counsel for respondent, Attorney Vinluan's
Your Honor,
manifestation earlier.
if the travel authority is also available, if we can ask
If the-
travel authority, if it's already issued.
Yes, of course. Kindly furnish us that as well.
Your Honors, we will submit in good faith whatever the prosecution has received from Director Matibag, Your Honor.
As well as
Kindly communicate with him, if possible, if he already has a travel authority for the same, so that we could evaluate it based on what you have. We
Yes,
cannot
Your
evaluate it based on what you don't have, so we will presume if you don't have it, it's not yet there.
Your Honor,
Yes,
one last
Attorney
addition. Considering that there's a, if and when they provide the travel authority, I understand, Your Honor, that one of the requirements is also the official invitation from the foreign body. So if they can also provide that, Your Honor, so that we can do a full review of this matter.
Attorney Vinluan, it's not really for the full review of the counsel for the prosecution, but rather for this court's evaluation, whether or not to allow the motion of the counsel panel of prosecutors. But everything that will be submitted to us, you will be furnished with a copy,
We will
so that you can argue your way through this motion before we decide on it. So ordered. Counsel for the panel of prosecutors, kindly call your next witness.
Your Honors, I respectfully request that the counsel for the panel of House Prosecutors, Attorney Virgil Ligutan, be recognized for the presentation of our second witness.
Attorney Ligutan, counsel for the prosecutors, is recognized to present the prosecution's second witness. You may proceed, sir.
Nako, ito yung feeling superstar. Ika nga nitong si Atty. Salvador Panelo. First time siguro natapatan ng camera kaya mayat maya gusto magpabida, di ba? Sige.
Mayong hapon sa atong tanan.
Isa ka lang naman doon sa mga prosecutor sa impeachment na ika nga merong sisikat ng baga, kaya maya mawawala na yan. Ang masyadong pakit ninyo ano yung pagiging viral sa social media, okay?
The second witness for the prosecution is no other than Attorney Jeremy C. Lotok, Your Honor, please. We call to the witness stand Attorney Lotok.
Yan.
Kindly situate Attorney Lotok to the witness stand.
Pamiloto kayo, pinractice natin. Huwag mong kalimutan, ha? Siyempre, nag-practice yan mga yan, ang mga prosecution, di ba? At saka yan si Atty. Lutok. Oh. Practice sila.
Attorney Lotok, please remain standing as the clerk of court administers the oath.
Yung isa, yung Kalilong, patong-patong ang kaso noon. Itong si Lotok, di natin alam kung anong hawak ng prosecution sa kanya. Bakit ginusto niyang, isugal ang kanyang karera dito sa impeachment trial.
So far as the prosecution's second
Aray mo.
witness is concerned.
Aray mo.
Recognized.
Please raise your right hand. You, Jeremy C. Lotok,
I, Jeremy C. Lotok,
do swear
do swear
that the evidence you shall give
that the evidence that I will be giving
in the case now pending
in the case now pending
between the Philippines and Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte
between the Philippines and Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Your witness, counsel for the prosecutors.
Attorney Lotok, you may sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, sir talaga, ha? Sir niya si Ligutan. Sana all, sir. Oh.
Your Honors, the testimony of our second witness, Attorney Jeremy C. Lotok, is offered to prove the following. Number one, Jeremy Lotok is a lawyer by profession, and he was the chief of the Cybercrime Division of the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, in 2024. Pangalawa, kasama siya sa NBI team na nagsagawa ng investigasyon sa mga pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente na ginawa sa isang online media briefing noong Nobyembre 23, taong 2024, kung saan diniklara ng Vice Presidente na siya ay kumontrata na ng isang tao.
Oh, yung yung slow motion natin, ha, wag mong wag mong kalimutan yung pagbibigay din, ha, doon sa paggurgur, okay? Oh, yung pagbibigay din. Nagpa-facial ba tong si attorney? O mira, talagang pinagandaan, ha? Pamira.
Para patayin ang Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas,
Oh, yan.
ang unang ginang at ang dating Speaker ng House of Representatives.
Yan.
Pangatlo, napag-alaman ng NBI na ang mga pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente ay seryoso at totoo. Matapos silang isaalang-alang ang mga sumusunod. Una, the manner of the respondent's delivery of the statement that she intended her remarks to be real and serious threats. She was not merely joking when she uttered those threats. Pangalawa, mga kababayan, even before that fateful press conference on November 23, 2024, bago yung press conference
Ang ina-address na ho nila mga kababayan, hindi na ho yung mga senator judges. Kasi ano na yan, meron na ho silang halimbawa, wala na yan, yung impeachment na yan, yung mga kapanaling natin dyan sa Senado, alam nila na political persecution yung ginagawa kay VP Sara. Paninira yan. Alam din ng ating mga kababayan dito. Ngayon itong mga abogado na to, ang sinusubukan ho nilang ligawan, yung base yung mga voter base, yung mga taga-suporta ni VP Sara sa social media. Gusto nilang ipakita na, yan hindi ka tiwa-tiwala si Sara, huwag yung boto sa 2028. Nagdeklara na tatakbo si VP Sara sa 2028. Kaya naman, ngayon pa lang, iparamdam na ho natin sa kanila na kahit ano pang ilatang nyo dyan, hindi magbabago ang suporta namin kay VP Sara. Kahit ano pang pagtitwisyan gawin nyo sa mainstream media, social media, tapos na ang 2028 election, di ba? At yung mga senador na kaalyado ni VP Sara, huwag na tayo magpaka-ipokrito. Yung ibang mga senador nga, kaalyado ng Malacanang dyan, tayo pa ba walang kaalyado si VP Sara? Unfair naman yun. Sila bulgaran kung suportahan yung mga kabalbalan sa Malacanang, tayo iniiwasan natin na ma-associate dito kay VP Sara dyan sa impeachment trial na ito. Napakalaking kalokohan nun mga kababayan. Kaya ngayon pa lang sasabihin natin, kahit ano pang ebidensya, testigo, testimonya, ilatang nila dyan, hindi mo natin papaniwalaan yan. Dahil lang nasa likod ng impeachment na yan, yung mga adik at magnanakaw sa kaban ng sambayanan.
Ayan. May nakontrata ng mamamatay tao yung Vice Presidente. Bago pa man ang press conference na yan. Pangatlo, ang utos ng Vice Presidente sa assassin na huwag siyang titigil hanggat hindi napapatay ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas, ang unang ginang at ang Speaker ng House of Representatives ay nagpapakita ng Vice Presidente ay determinado at porsigido sa kanyang pagbabanta. Number 4, the result of the investigation and after determining that the respondents' threats are serious and real, led the NBI to file complaints for 3 counts of grave threats and 1 count of inciting to sedition. Number 5, this witness, Atty. Lotok, will identify and authenticate the affidavit of investigation, the annexes, as well as a couple of videos in relation to the NBI's investigation. And number 6 offer, he will also testify on such other matters as are relevant and material to the impeachment of the Vice President. Ready for comment, Your Honor, please.
Counsel for the respondent, Atty. Vinluan.
Subject for cross, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
Counsel for the prosecutor, may proceed.
Daghang salamat, Mr. Presiding Officer, Honorable.
Grabe, kumpleto yung gang sa likod, Si pangalan to, si Chua, yung Gabriela ngayon, nandiyan lahat sila, yung mga aso ni Martin Romualdez.
Judges,
Si Adjong, kumpleto.
Atty. Lotok,
Sir,
maupay nga kulop, haibo.
mapay ang kulupman, sir.
Waray-waray po. We are both waray-waray. At the same time, siguro, Atty. Lotok, pwede ba mas malapit pa sa microphone para marinig ng sambayanan lahat ng isasagot ko mo sa mga tanong ko?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Lotok, kindly state your name, edad, and other personal circumstances.
I am Attorney Jeremy C. Lotok, 50 years of age, and currently the Regional Director of the NBI Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, sir.
Sinabi mo ikaw ay isang abogado, Atty. Lotok, di ba?
Opo.
Now, yung tanong kailan ka naging membro ng ating Philippine Bar?
I was admitted to the Philippine Bar and took my lawyer's oath in 2013, sir.
2013. Now, Mr. Lotok, ano ba yung current position mo, occupation mo, kung meron man?
The Regional Director of the NBI Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, sir.
Ikaw ay isang NBI Regional Director for BARM. Now, yung tanong is, how long have you been with the NBI?
I've been in the NBI for the past 12 years, sir.
12 years. No, tanong is, I think, based on my counting, that would be since 2014. Tama po ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
Now, kailan ka ba na-designate as the NBI Regional Director ng BARM?
I was designated in January this year as Regional Director of the NBI BARM, sir.
January 2026. Now, prior to your designation as the NBI Regional Director for BARM, ano ba yung previous position mo within NBI?
I was the Regional Director for Region 4B or Mimaropa, sir. I think July 2025.
July 2025 you became. Okay, now, prior to your designation as NBI Regional Director for Mimaropa, what was your previous position kung meron man?
I was the Chief of the NBI Cybercrime Division, Your Honor.
Chief ng NBI Cybercrime Division. No, kailan ka? Kailan ka na-designate as Chief ng NBI Cybercrime Division?
I was designated in February 2023, sir.
2023, no? Now, sinabi mo ikaw ay naging Chief ng NBI Cybercrime Division. Now, yung tanong, Mr. Atty. Lotok, is what were your primary duties and functions bilang hepe ng NBI Cybercrime Division?
Primary duties, among others, to plan, direct, and supervise the investigation of cybercrime cases pursuant to Republic Act 1175 and other relevant laws. And part of my duties and responsibilities is to investigate high-profile cases pursuant to Republic Act 1867, specifically crimes committed by, through and with the use of information and communication technology, sir.
Now, Mr. Witness, of course, you are aware na ikaw ay tumitistigo sa impeachment trial ng respondent. Now, yung tanong is, kilala mo ba yung respondent sa kasong ito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, yung tanong now is, why do you know her?
She is the incumbent Vice President of the Philippines, and she is the subject of the investigation by the NBI Cybercrime Division, Your Honor.
So, nasabi mo, she is the subject of an investigation ng NBI Cybercrime Division. Now, yung tanong, Atty. Lotok, is, kailan ba? Kailan nagsimula yung investigation ng NBI Cybercrime Division on the respondent?
November 23, 2024, sir.
November 23, 2024. Yung tanong now, Atty. Lotok, is why? Why did the Cybercrime Division commence an investigation on the Vice President?
We were directed by the then Director Judge IDB Santiago to conduct an investigation with regard to a certain video involving an online press conference held on November 23, 2024, where the Vice President uttered that she had already contracted a person to kill the President, Lisa Marcos, and the former Speaker of the House, sir.
Now, yung tanong, Atty. Lotok, is sa pagkakaalam mo, or kung alam mo, ba't yung NBI yung inatasang gumawa ng investigasyon na ito?
Well, under the law, specifically Republic Act 10867, the NBI has primary jurisdiction to undertake investigations on cases, among others, cases involving threats to security and assault against the persons of the highest officials, sir.
So, threats or assaults on or against highest officials, sabi mo, di ba? Now, yung tanong, Atty. Lotok, is sino ba yung mga highest officials na kung may threat or may assault sa kanila, NBI has to do it, an investigation? Sino yung mga officials na ito?
Yes, Your Honor, they are the President, the Vice President, the Senate President, the Speaker of the House, and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, sir.
All right, now, so you mentioned Presidente, Vice President, saka yung iba pa. Now, you mentioned, Atty. Lotok, that the NBI conducted an investigation on the respondent's statements during an online media briefing on November 23, 2024. Yung tanong now, Atty. Lotok, is, what exactly did the respondent say on that day that resulted to the investigation?
On that online press conference held on November 23, 2024, the Vice President uttered the following. Huwag kang mag-alala, ma'am, sa security ko
Uulitin na naman, pinanood na natin. Okay, sige.
sapagkat may kinausap na akong tao. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, pag pinatay ako, patayin mo si BBM, si Lisa Marcos, si Martin Romualdez. No joke, no joke. Nagbilin na ako, ma'am. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, pag namatay ako, huwag kang tumigil hanggat hindi mo sila mapapatay. And he said yes.
Now, Atty. Lotok, no, yun yung statement. No? Now, sino ba yung mga membro ng investigation team na galing sa division mo, yung Cybercrime Division?
We have Attorney Vinluan, the then Executive Officer for Operations ng Cybercrime Division, Attorney Vanessa Asuncion, the Executive Officer for Administration back then, John Mark Calilong, the agent on case, and myself, Your Honor.
You mentioned Agent John Mark Calilong,
Yes, Your Honor.
the same person who testified before you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, how did your division commence the investigation?
I instructed the team, specifically Agent Calilong, that for this particular case, we have to follow the 5 phases or stages of cybercrime investigation, sir.
Partida sa lagay na yan. Yung ika nga tinuturing nilang napakahusay na abogado ni Juan Ponce na si Juan Ponce Enrile. Sinabi na niya, walang threat. Pero pinagpipilitan pa rin nila. Dati yung presiding officer, yang si Juan Ponce Enrile sa impeachment nitong si dating Chief Justice Renato Corona. Sinabi na niya, walang threat doon sa mga tinuran nitong si VP Sara Duterte. Pero sila pinagpipilitan na. Sino ba magaling? Si Luis Tro, si Buto, ang pangalan to, hindi ka mananalo ng kung ano man tatakbuhan mong pwesto sa pamahalaan. Ang hirap ng apelido mo, lang yaka. O si Juan Ponce Enrile. Diba? Bira
So
naman
you
kayo.
instructed John Mark Calilong to follow 4 stages of the investigation?
The team and John Mark Calilong, sir.
Now, you mentioned, Atty. Lotok, yung 4 stages ng Cybercrime Division for the information ng ating honorable judges sa kanyang publiko. And this is the question now, ano ba yung 4 stages ng investigation na ito?
Yeah, Your Honor. For that particular case, first, the identification and preservation of the digital evidence, the collection and hashing of that same digital evidence. That's the second phase. The analysis and attribution phase, the third one, and then the legal evaluation and case filing as the final phase, sir.
So these are the 4 stages. Now, if you know, what was Agent Calilong's response, and if any, sa naging instruction mo sa kanya na sundin yung 4 stages ng cybercrime investigation?
Well, he said yes, and then he proceeded to identify. He proceeded to identify and preserve.
Continue.
Identify and preserve the digital evidence in question, sir.
Now, you said and that you instructed Agent Calilong to identify and preserve, na-mention mo, digital evidence. Yung tanong now is, what is this evidence that you are referring to?
It refers to a certain video, Your Honor, involving an online press conference held on November 23, 2024, which was streamed through the Facebook page of one Attorney Herminio Lopez Roque Jr. or Harry Roque, Your Honor.
So it was the Facebook page of Harry Roque who live streamed the video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Witness, After Agent Calilo identified and preserved yung sinasabi mong video, which you said is the first stage of the investigation, ano yung nangyari after that kung meron man, tsaka kung alam mo?
Yes, Your Honor. The agent in case proceeded to collect that digital evidence and generated hash value on that digital evidence, and at the same time stored that in a data carrier, Your Honor.
Alam mo, Atty. Lotok, this is the first time na narinig natin yung term na hash value. And I think it's just proper na yung next question ko para malaman ng publiko, Atty. Lotok, ano ba yung hash value na yan?
Well, under the implementing rules and regulation of Republic Act 10175 or the Reorganization and Modernization Act of NBI, hash value refers to a mathematical algorithm applied to the information like the file, the physical disk, or the logical disk, in this case, the digital evidence, thereby creating a digital fingerprint or DNA for that information or digital evidence, Your Honor.
So to create a fingerprint for the video, is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, the video.
All right, now, Mr. Witness, after the identification, preservation, collection, and hashing, and so far these are the two stages, what happened next, if any, in relation to your investigation on the Vice President's statement?
We proceeded to the analysis and attribution phase.
Now, ano yung nangyari kung meron man, tsaka kung alam mo, in this analysis and attribution phase?
In the analysis, we established the intent, the motive, the capability of the Vice President to carry out the threats he mentioned, as well as we proceeded to identify the individuals present in that press conference on November 23, 2024, sir.
Okay, so sinabi mo, you proceeded to identify the different individuals in that video. Siguro yung publiko, they're now interested. So, what happened? What happened pagkatapos yung mag-proceed sa pag-identify sino ba yung nasa video na yan?
First, we have identified media personalities from Philippine Daily Inquirer, from the Manila Times, from the Reuters, SMNI, etc. And then we have also identified the Vice President herself, who in her presence, openly and publicly, uttered that she had already contracted a person to kill the President, Lisa Marcos,
Mahirap paulit-ulit ho mga kababayan. Ano ba yan?
former Speaker of the House, and instructed the person to be relentless in killing the three.
Yan.
And it was streamed through the Facebook page again of Harry Roque, Your Honor.
You said to be relentless in the killing. Okay, now, after finding out that indeed the Vice President uttered that, to be relentless in the killing, what happened next, if any, in relation to the investigation you conducted?
We continued the open source investigation to determine if there were utterances made by the Vice President in previous dates, Your Honor.
Now, ano ba yung naging resulta, kung meron man, tsaka kung alam mo, sa naging open source investigation ng NBI into sinasabi mong mga previous statements ng Vice President?
We have found a press conference dated October 18, 2024, streamed through the official Facebook page of the Office of the Vice President. And we were able to identify, for us, being the investigator, at least three material lines or utterances made by the Vice President, sir.
Okay, so you said in that press conference, sinabi mo you found three utterances or statements ng Vice President. Okay,
Among others, sir, yeah.
Among others. So let's focus on these three. Ano ba yung three statements na sinasabi mo?
Well, the first one, the Vice President uttered, gusto kong tanggalin yung ulo niya ba? And then the second one, the Vice President uttered, I realized toxic na itong relationship.
Yan.
Referring to the relationship between the Vice President and the President. And then number three, I imagine myself cutting his head.
Okay na.
Your Honor.
Recap, sinabi mo gusto kong tanggalin ng ulo
Ulo.
niya.
Paling ulo ba ang gusto niyang tanggalin kasi dalawang ulo yan eh. Eh dahil nga naman wala na tayong papaniwalaan dito sa kabalbalan na to, kumbaga hyperbole yan eh, sarap mong burburin kita dyan eh. Di ba meron ganun eh. Di ba merong, kumbaga sa sobrang gigil mo, kahit nga nanay mo, minsan pagka sumusobra ka na, sakalit kita dyan eh. Di ba mga ganun eh. Meron ganun eh, pero hindi naman, hindi naman, ika nga, love gesture yun. At kaya Sara, frustration, pero walang, tignan na kayo naman meron ba balak ba ni Lisa, ika nga ni attorney Edward Sico, balak ba ni Lisa, Marcos Jr. at nito si Martin Romualdez paguguro si BP, kaya takot na takot sila ngayon? Yun lang naman.
And then sinabi mo rin sa third, I imagine cutting his head. Based on your investigation, Attorney Lotok, kaninong ulo ba yung rinirefer ng Vice President na gusto niyang tanggalin?
The President of the Republic of the Philippines, sir.
Yung ulo ng Presidente ng Republika ng Pilipinas.
Opo.
Wala nang bago, Brad. Masisira ulo mo dyan, wala nang bago, paulit-ulit na lang. Ang tanong nga dito, kung sakali bang may mangyari kay Marcos Jr., malulungkot ba sa bayan ng Pilipino o lulungkot lang yung mga bayaran nilang vlogger? Pambira yung mga bayaran nilang vlogger. Ayaw nilang matanggal sa pwesto si Marcos Jr. Gusto nila forever. Kasi magpa-Prime Minister. Walang napit ng garapata, ibang klase ho sila. Hindi sila pwede makatikim ng pera. Ayaw nila maputol yung ang tawag dito, yung bayad ng administrasyon na to sa kanila. Yung mga vlogger pang kapal na mukha.
What proof, if any, do you have? The Vice President said this.
We have that video, Your Honor, dated October 18, 2024.
Now, kung maalala mo, Mr. Witness, saang portion ng video na yan maririnig yung Vice President, sinasabi yung mga kataga, gusto kong tanggalin yung ulo niya, imagine myself cutting his head.
Your Honor, if I may refer to my notes.
Your Honor, I move that.
Witness may do so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, counsel for respondent may observe as the witness peruses his notes.
Your Honor, may we also be allowed to do the same? through
Similar
Atty.
order with
Stephen
respect to the counsel for the prosecutor.
Your Honor, from timestamps 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 57 seconds to 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 10 seconds. And then 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 52 seconds. And then 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 58 seconds.
Okay, so far, Your Honor, for the record, okay, Your Honor, please, sorry. The gentleman mentioned 2 timestamps. So question, if those
Wala ko tayong maraming objection ngayon sa defense. Sabi siguro ng defense, hayaan nyo na lang. Hayaan nyo lang object. Yung mga tao naman, di naman pinapaniwalaan niya kasi alam naman ng mga sabay ng Pilipino. Ang nasa likod ng impeachment na yan, yung mga magnanakaw sa flood control. Kaya, hayaan nyo na lang. Hayaan nyo magdadaldal yang si attorney basic na attorney. Hindi natin kalimutan natin pangalan. O yun, hayaan nyo na yun. Wala namang bitaw yung mga yan.
portions, okay, are shown to you, will you be able to identify the same?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, at this juncture, Your Honor, please, the video has already been identified, marked and identified by our previous witness, and it is marked as Exhibit P-Roman numeral 4-11 for the prosecution. We move that these two portions with individual timestamps as mentioned be shown to this witness for his identification, Your Honor, please.
Where is the USB, counsel?
Your Honor, we move that we be allowed to unseal the marked exhibit, Your Honor, please, that was presented last time, Your Honor, please. It's with us, it's with the prosecution.
Kindly unseal the document in the presence of the counsel for respondent. Witness is instructed to unseal the USB. This has been previously marked. So after the unsealing, counsel for the prosecutor and for the respondent are instructed to kindly accompany each other to the tech booth to make sure it is the same, one and the same USB that will be played. Kung may bala kayong buksan ulit, huwag nyo na masyadong i-tape na madami.
Kaya nga naman,
Para hindi masyadong matagal.
nabad trip tuloy itong si Senate President.
Pag-i-unseal.
Kung ang gunting-guntingin nyo na lang, di ba?
For the record, this will be timestamps 1 hour, 35 minutes to 57 seconds to 1 hour, 36 minutes and 10 seconds for the first timestamp. For the first portion. And the second portion is from 1 hour, 36 minutes to 52 seconds to 1 hour, 36 minutes and 58 seconds.
Tagal naman yan. Play na yan. Play na yung mga dapat i-play.
Gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba?
Yan. Sa mga nalubugan ng baha, sa mga nalubugan ng sasakyan, di ba? Sa mga na-traffic sa EDSA dahil sa baha, ano gusto niyo gawin kay Marcos Jr.? Oh, plus tayo sa defense, plus tayo sa defense.
I realize toxic na yung relationship.
Toxic na. Pag toxic na, umalis ka. Ganun lang kasi yun. Ngayon, pagka toxic na, hindi ka pa umalis, ibig sabihin, kasama ka doon sa katoksikan. Aray mo. Yun na yun. Ang ikli naman, grabe naman yan.
There's one more counsel, right?
Yes, Your Honor. Waiting for the second video
Baka hindi naman natin ipalabas yung buong pambihira naman.
Video. Consisting of 6 seconds only, Your Honor, please.
Imagine myself cutting his head.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Honor, please.
Yun na yun, walang konteksto. Yun lang lumabas sa bibig ni VP Sara. Propaganda, palakpakan ho tayo. Plus tayo sa defense. Propaganda, pambira. Kaya gusto ko maniwala, yun lang pinakita niyo. Pakita niyo yung buong konteksto. Ba't napunta tayo dun sa mga ganun litanya ni VP Sara. Hindi yung cutting his head. Anong cutting his head? Ano ba yun? Head ng aso? Head ng isda? Lulutuin? Anong head? Pambira.
May proceed, Your Honor, please.
Proceed.
Counsel may proceed.
Mr. Witness.
Ay na nga mga kababayan, magparto na ho tayo. Itong si Atty. Matatapos na impeachment, di ko pa alam ang apelido mo. Ayun na nga, maraming salamat sa pag-support sa page update. Maging ito lahat, mahal natin Pilipinas, pambihira.